Good afternoon, everyone. It is Friday, May 23rd, 2025. Do we have a viable dip on our hands here? And are we going to see stimulus sooner rather than later? Let's talk about it here. But first, if you give the video a thumbs up, it tells YouTube that this video is awesome. And I appreciate each and every one of you for doing that, subscribing to the channel. Also, come find me on carnivoretrades.com for swing trading alerts, analysis, and live day trading. Let's get into it today. So I did the dunce move yesterday. I sacrificed for everybody who was short, and I just kind of went into cash, closed out the vol hedges that we had here. We still, made some money on it, but we did get the gap down this morning. And I said yesterday that unless we got macro news, we got macro news, but if we didn't get macro news here, we could just see like a holiday float. And it was looking like it could be that way until 7:30 in the morning. Again, Trump coming out with Trump trumped the market. We got another tariff tape bomb. It's been a while since we got one of those, and it was on the EU, floating the idea of 50% tariffs. That was kind of out of left field because the market was kind of like, oh, we thought this whole ordeal was over with and it was all going to be roses from here on out. But again, like we said, after Wednesday, the macro news can matter a little bit more, and that's why we had a nice little dunk here. We also talked about the 580 level on SPY yesterday, and it was very interesting that we got down there, and it was, flashing really all week, like even on Monday, like it was being teased, like at pre-market and whatnot. And we got down there on the sell Wednesday. We got close. We got there pre-market yesterday to the tick, literally. But we didn't touch it during market hours, and I thought that was very strange to not like why wouldn't they go down there and get it? And we got it today, and we actually closed below it, so we'll see if they got some fills down there. Also, 510 QQQ closed below that as well. So we'll see if that was kind of the game all along. Nonetheless, though, we did have a nice bounce off the lows, and you can see right here. This is what I call a. Let me get rid of this. It technically not. It's very close though. If we had touched the 20 MA, it would have been like a triple necktie, and I can count on one hand the amount of times I've seen it, at least off of memory. But you get the 200, the 100 intersecting. That's a regular necktie. A triple would be a third moving average, and yeah, it's got pretty close. So definitely some support there with the gap down, and that's probably why we got the bounce. We also had our algo this morning. We have a proprietary setup. It fired off probably like 20 tickers in buy alerts, and a lot of them were indices, a lot of semiconductors, a lot of other, even like consumer staples were hitting. We also had sell on VIX, so we caught a nice little bounce this morning. This is just for like a day trading short term kind of level, but we had a nice bounce off of that, and market floated off the lows here. I think right now going into the weekend, the market does have a little bit of tail risk priced in, right? So VIX getting a good pop today. It came way off the highs, but it did float up into the afternoon, and you can see VVIX here, floated back up to the opening range. VIX futures, same kind of deal. So I think right now the market is kind of pricing in a little bit of tail risk. We got a 3-day weekend, so there's 3 days for Trump to Trump, right? And the EU to say something back, and then this and that. We got to go through the whole ordeal again. So you got the whole market kind of like, all right, we're hedged. Now, I'll say this. If nothing happens or if something good happens, we got a right tail for next Tuesday. I can show you right here. Again, this is as of today, as of today's close. So SPY, it's pretty negatively configured. This is for Tuesday. It's pretty negatively configured right now. But on SPX, not really anything to the downside here, at least as far as out of the money. But in the money, it's pretty well hedged negatively. So the market is pricing in weakness. If we don't get that, you get a tail to the upside. So just to throw that out there. But right now, I would say, I'll put this line back on. I'm going to call it 57.50, but we'll put it right here because that's like the technical spot. But yeah, around 57.50, I think that's a big line in the sand in the short term. If we hold this, we just bounce up here and we can consolidate, we're good. If we break below that, you got the gap, you got 50, you got 57. If you lose that, this is like kind of the last area I'd want to see the market test, especially on a weekly close. We could go down, but now we finally have a pivot high in place, so we can actually work off of this for once. But yeah, I mean, you could go down to the 618 around like 53, fill this gap, but I'd prefer it not do that, right? Like structurally, if we're gonna like look at any sort of summer like continued rally. That's still kind of my base case. So yeah, I'd want to see us hold 55 generally. We might not even get down there. In fact, there's some models I'm looking at and have already made up that said we won't even get down there. But just to give you both sides of the coin here, that's what we'd want to see. Short term, again, like I said yesterday, 5,900 really just puts bulls back in control on all time frames. So that's what we're looking at here. Triple Qs down 1% on the day, and we retested. And again, this is just extended from the 20, but yeah, we retested the bull market trend line. We gapped above it, and it's holding for now. We got a bounce there. We also closed above the 200 too on SPX. IWM here. Are we looking at a left shoulder and a possible right shoulder? Maybe. You don't take a trade off that till it triggers. I see people all the time to make this mistake. Oh, it's going to put in a right shoulder, so they go long right here, and then it goes down. Till it triggers, it's not a pattern. But it is something I'm watching. Same thing with the Dow. So watch those. Could be big. SMH down, so we kind of lost that nice flag structure. But, it's holding on, just closed right on the 200 there. And this is one of the things that triggered on the buy algo this morning. Obviously, NVIDIA earnings, will move this, and they'll move the whole market next Wednesday. So that's what the market's going to look to. So if we get nothing trade-wise over the weekend, we probably just chop until then. IGV, little pullback this week, but still above all the moving averages, still strong. Transports goes down on the day, but again, held the 20, held this trend line, and held the inside bar low. So that's holding up right now. The 30-year continued to back off. That's probably what helped the market recover here. And what was interesting is that bonds were rallying initially. If you look at ZB here, you can see this morning when we got that news, it actually rallied. That's not a negative. The dollar did sell, but bonds rallied. So that's different. When we've been getting these this tariff talk, lately the market has gone, the bond market, the dollar, and the stock market has gone down. Today was just stocks and dollar going down, and bonds actually rallied a little bit. Change. 2-year flat, so no changes there. But TYX, yeah, so no new weekly closing high, but 52-week closing high though. So nice move for yields. XHB following, inversely to the downside this week. VNQ closed flat on the day. This is still in better shape than XHB right now. XLF down 18 cents. Watch financials here. Dollar yen. If that goes down to 140 and breaks, keep an eye on financials. That's your bear case right now, even more than the tariff crap. KRE, KBE down, but came way off the lows, closed not down a little bit. Broker dealers down, but again came off the lows too. Weekly chart did not make a new closing high. It didn't, close below last week's low, but it didn't make new high. Oil, not bad, still flagging. Got to break 62, and then I think 64 is a speed bump. So we'll see about that. XLE, again, ugly candle the last 2 days, but possible higher lows here. Watch that. XOP, again, held the necktie, the 50 and the 20. Got a bit off that. You want to see that turn into a higher low, and same thing with OIH. Closed up 18 cents in a down tape. Uranium plays, again, obviously big move here today with the speeding up of the regulation. You know what I'm talking about with Trump. CCJ up 11, ACLO up 23, SMR up 20, NNE up 30, NM reclaiming the 200, NJ, we talked about our weekly resistance, closed above it. So very good impulse here. Nukes, nice move there. So these are back in bull mode here. You want to see some flagging, some backing and filling, and then they can go higher. Quiet day for nat gas. Still got a little bull inside bar there. Hanging on to the $3 level. Dollar index down on tariff news. This isn't a downtrend. It's weak. You got your squeeze, and now it's weak again. So be careful with the dollar here. Don't like it. Gold flagging looks good. No problems. You know what I like about gold right now? Actually, not so much gold. I guess I'm looking at GDX, obviously, but let me see GDXJ. Yeah, okay, here you go. I was going to say silver, which I'll talk about in a second, but what's this here? You see that pivot? That's a higher high, right? That's a lower high, right? It's silver. Lower highs, right? SIL, it's at 52-week highs, right? Miners are leading, right? We haven't seen that in a while, and when we do, it's rare. It's not bearish. SILJ, not so much, but pattern's still good. So miners actually a little interesting here. I still want to see a move here, pull back, and then out for silver. Gold looks fine. No problems. Platinum breakout week. Talked about that extensively. Palladium pulling back to the 200, but it's holding. 1050s, it's good resistance right now. You talk about tariffs, copper moves. It got a nice bid here. Trend is back up on this. Still too choppy for me though. But nice move. Bitcoin, new highs, new weekly closing high. Well, for now. It pulled back today, but I want to see the weekly close. So if we can close above these pivots on the weekly, or just even close right here, that would be a new weekly closing high. Usually when these things break out of these types of patterns, they do pull back a little bit, because you get the people who chase the breakout, they get smoked, and then, you know, the shorts who stopped out, you know, whatever. But big picture though, bull flag breakout, bull flag breakout. Liquidity is coming. Okay. Uncle Scott is going to be easing the capital on treasuries. It's going to help the market. They're doing it a bit sooner than expected, but I wouldn't fight it. So just throwing that out there. Banks will like that. Short term though, again, you want to hold this area, and if we can consolidate, we can move higher. Bottom line though, yeah, I would say 5,500 on any pullback. You'd want to see that hold for now. So anyways, guys, I'll wrap it up here. Again, you guys take care. Don't forget to come find me on carnivoretrades.com. I'll see you guys all next week.